You ever shown up to a job and spent 20 minutes digging through your truck trying to find one tool? Or you get on site and realize the thing you need is back at the shop? Or you've been pulling stuff in and out of your truck bed all day because nothing has a real home? That is not a small problem. That is death by 1,000 cuts. Time lost looking for tools adds up across weeks and months into real significant money. And the stress of a disorganized rig affects your whole day. Your work truck is your office, your workshop, your warehouse. It's worth treating it that way. In this video, I'm walking through how to set up your truck for maximum efficiency, what systems work, what gear is worth the investment, and how to keep it that way. Let me put some numbers on this before we get into the setup details, because I want you to understand this is actually a business decision, not just a neat freak thing. If you spend an average of 20 minutes a day looking for tools, running back to the truck, realizing you left something behind, or driving back to the shop, 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week, is 100 minutes per week. That's almost 90 hours a year. Valued at even $75 hour in billable time, that's $6,750 worth of productivity lost annually. In a real sense, a poorly organized truck costs you thousands of dollars per year. On top of the time cost, tools that aren't properly stored get damaged faster. They get lost, either stolen because you don't notice they're missing or just gone missing in the chaos. Replacing tools adds up. And there's a professional presentation aspect too. If a customer sees you show up and spend 10 minutes digging through piles of stuff, it doesn't inspire confidence. A clean, organized rig says something about how you run your business. Your organization strategy starts with what you're driving. Let me run through the main setups. Work van, the most popular choice for tradespeople who carry a lot of stock and gear. A van gives you a lockable, weather-protected cargo space that can be customized with ladder racks on the outside and shelving, bins, and cargo management inside. Vans hold a lot. They're relatively secure. The downside is loading and accessing from the back. You need everything organized so you're not climbing in to reach something at the front. Utility body truck. Service body. Steel compartments built around a truck frame. Classic for service contractors, especially electrical and HVAC. Everything has its own lockable compartment, organized by category. You can see and access any compartment from outside the truck without digging. More weather-resistant than an open bed. The downside, significant upfront cost and less overall capacity than a cargo van. Pickup with bed toolbox, the most common and flexible setup for smaller operations. A full-width or contractor toolbox gives you lockable, secure storage. Truck bed can carry bulk materials. Ladder rack up top for conduit, pipe, or lumber. The downside is weather exposure, security, and the tendency for the truck bed to turn into a pile if you're not disciplined. Which to choose? Depends on your trade and volume of stock. Service-heavy electrical, HVAC, and plumbing, van or utility body. Heavier construction or rough site work, pickup with bed toolbox and ladder rack. Many contractors evolve from a pickup to a van as their business grows. Whether you have a van, utility body, or truck bed, the principle is the same. Everything has a specific home, and that home is labeled. For vans, aftermarket shelving systems are the gold standard. There are full kit systems that include a combination of shelves, bins, and dividers designed for specific trades. For electrical work, you typically want shallow bins at eye level for frequently used small items, connectors, wire nuts, breakers, switches, outlets, deeper shelves below for wire by the spool, conduit fittings, and boxes, and floor space for larger items like tape boxes, coils of row, mechs, and heavier material. The critical design principles: frequently used items closest to the door. Don't make yourself climb into the van to get the tool you need 10 times a day. Similar items grouped together, all connectors together, all breakers together, all rough-in boxes together. Everything secured so it doesn't shift when you drive. Open bins that let things fly around during braking make your truck a mess within days. Labeled, every bin, every shelf section. Not just for you, for any helper or employee who needs to find something. For utility bodies, the compartmentalization is built in. The key is assigning each compartment deliberately and sticking to it. Left side top, meter bases and main gear. Left side bottom, wire fittings and connectors. Right side top, tools. Right side bottom, test equipment, top box, frequently needed daily items. One of the most useful distinctions in truck organization is separating your daily toolkit from your stock materials. Your daily toolkit is the stuff you touch on virtually every job: your multimeter, your voltage tester, your drill, impact driver, fish tape, pliers, strippers, screwdrivers, level, flashlight. These should be immediately accessible. Many contractors use a rolling tool bag or a dedicated toolbox that can be pulled out of the van quickly and carried onto the job. The big advantage of a removable daily kit: you can carry it from the truck to the job with one trip and have everything you need at hand. You're not walking back and forth to the truck every time you need a different tool. Stock materials, wire, conduit, fittings, boxes, devices, live in the shelving system, and you pull what you need for each job. These don't need to be accessible in seconds. They need to be well organized and easy to inventory. Specialty tools that you use occasionally: big wire benders, specialized testers, specialty installation tools, can be in the bottom of a van or in a less accessible compartment. You know where they are when you need them, but they're not in the way on jobs where you don't. The best truck setup in the world fails if you run out of stock on site. Managing your truck inventory is an underrated part of a professional operation. Establish minimum stock levels for commonly used items. When your stock of a particular box or connector or wire nut hits the minimum, it's time to restock, not when you run out in the middle of a job. The simplest system that actually works for most smaller operations: at the end of each week, do a quick inventory check. Walk through the van, look at your bins, note what's low or empty. Place your supplier order. Some contractors keep a notepad or use their phone to log items as they deplete during the week. Whatever creates the habit of restocking consistently. Know your typical consumption by job type. A residential service upgrade takes roughly X feet of SCR cable, X number of breakers, X set of lugs and connectors. If you stock for those job types consistently, you rarely run short. Work with your suppliers to make restocking easy. Regular accounts with suppliers who know your volume and can have your typical order ready for pickup saves time. Some suppliers offer delivery for larger orders. Use these relationships. Track your consumables costs. If you're going through more material than the job warranted, either your estimating is off or material is walking off the job. Tracking consumption keeps you honest on both. Setting up a great truck organization system is one thing. Maintaining it is another. Here's how to make it stick. End of day reset. 5 minutes at the end of the day, putting everything back in its place. Not optional. This is the habit that makes everything else work. If you skip it 3 days in a row, your truck is a pile within a week. Clean the truck weekly. Sweep it out. Wipe down shelves. Toss the accumulating trash. A clean work environment reinforces the mental discipline of organization. SICU, RIDI, tools are valuable, and truck break-ins targeting work vehicles are common. Don't leave visible tools in an unattended truck overnight in a public area if you can help it. Good locks matter. Deadbolt-style van locks and locking drawers in utility bodies. Some contractors install alarm systems or GPS trackers on their work vehicles. Insurance matters too. Make sure your tool and equipment coverage actually covers the replacement cost of what you carry. When you add tools, when new tools come into the rotation, they get a home immediately. No, I'll figure out where to put it later. That's how the pile starts. Training employees. If you have helpers or employees who work out of your truck, the system only works if everyone follows it. Walk them through the organization. Explain the logic. Make it clear that returning tools to their spot is part of the job. Your work truck is your most important piece of business infrastructure. The time you invest in setting it up right pays back every single day, in time saved, stress avoided, and the professional impression you make. Whether you're starting from scratch or reorganizing an existing setup, pick one thing from this video and implement it this week. Even small improvements compound. Subscribe for practical contractor business content every week. Drop a comment with your current truck setup or the biggest organization challenge you're dealing with. I'd love to hear it. See you next time.